Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Next Active. We've all heard the sayings, look good, feel good, and work hard, play hard. Well, Next Active doesn't just say it, they live by it. And here's the thing, activewear has to do more than just look amazing. It has to perform amazing. And when it does, it can help you look, feel, and perform your best too. That's what Next Active is all about. Located right in the heart of Los Angeles, Next Active is high-performance activewear that delivers. And that's not all. The company is overseen by an amazing all-women team too. And here's the best part. Right now, when you shop nextactive.com, we can save you 20% of your purchase by using promo code reality20nux. That's reality20nux. Guys, I'm loving the one-by-one long sleeve set, but there's so many amazing collections to choose from in super cool colors and cuts. Everything you need to go from the gym to brunch. Hello, bottomless Bloody Marys. So again, save 20% of your purchase right now at nextactive.com with promo code reality20nux. That's reality20nux at checkout. Thank you for sponsoring this podcast and make positive moves with Next Active.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Married to Reality. It's the Last Resort edition. I'm your co-host, John, here with my wife. And co-host, it's the one and only Teresa right there.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Whew. Put the kids to bed. Pour a glass of wine. This is Married to Reality After Dark.
Yeah, this was a wild episode. Like, they are not holding back on anything.
I think I need therapy after this episode. Does anyone have Dr. Petey's number? Because send her this way. I need someone to talk to.
Dr. Petey or Dr. Reba?
I think we're fine without Dr. Reba, but I'll take a Petey. I'll take a Prendergast.
I'll tell you what, the experts are highly involved. I like it.
I know.
Straight to the point. Straight to the point.
Well, yes. Yeah. They're not disappointing, I will say that. And they can't, because I think they're building a whole, I'll call it a spin-off around the experts. Not to plug another pod, but why not? They have the Last Resort sessions where I haven't listened to a single episode. I can't get myself to do it. But the three of them talk about the episodes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Sometimes I feel like you don't listen to me.
The three experts have their pillow talk?
It's a pod talk.
Oh, I didn't know.
Teresa.
Yes? You did not tell me.
I told you and all of our friends when I did a by the way.
I don't think so. I think you were talking about...
Maybe we do need therapy, Teresa, because clearly our communication is not as good as I thought it was.
Jesus. You know what you say on the pod you cannot take back?
I know. Well, apparently you don't even hear half the things I say in the pod, so it really doesn't matter.
You didn't say that.
Oh my God.
You said that TLC is trying to have a podcast, but it's not successful.
I said that about their 90-day OG podcast.
Yeah.
And then I said they have a new one with the experts from The Last Resort talking about each episode of The Last Resort.
Yeah, I probably dismissed it.
Guys, call in and give her shit, please, because all you guys heard me say it. I know you guys did, because you guys listen.
Guys, call in, because I'm not 100% sure that he said it.
I'll pull up the episode.
Pull the episode?
If we had a producer or any extra time in our day, I would find the clip and I would put it right here. I got another piece of info I'm not sure that you know about.
All right. Is it a second by the way?
No, it's part of this one.
Ooh.
Okay. In addition to the show, Teresa, there's going to be a weekly companion podcast that goes along with it.
What?
90-day The Last Resort sessions.
Why?
Because they're trying to make
Who's
money.
gonna do the pod?
That's a great question. Not us, because we weren't asked. Although we should have been. Told ya. I told ya. That's where hopefully you will have heard me say that there's a podcast with the
You're
experts.
not gonna do that.
We'll find out.
Are you?
I hope so. I hope I can find it.
No.
Otherwise, this whole gag is going to be for naught. But
Well,
yes.
I want our friends to tell us.
No. Why am I going to make our friends do work? I'm going to prove to you once and for all that I did it and that you don't listen to me.
All right, you do you.
All right. Anyways.
It's like you don't have enough on your plate already.
Well, I'm going to find time because I think this is important to prove a point.
You do you. You
All
do
right.
you, John.
All right. That's my homework is to do me. Oh, buckle up, folks. There's a lot to talk about this episode. It's, woo. Yeah, there was, I don't know if you noticed, there was a warning screen before this
Ooh,
episode.
I did not.
And I was like, is that always there? Do I just not pay attention until the show starts? But I think it's because the subject matter of this particular episode was so sexual.
Yeah, explicit is the word.
Explicit. Look at you. Who's the English speaker on this podcast? Yeah, it was extra explicit. And there were some scenes, and we'll get to them, borderline pornographic. And
yeah.
I'm no prude over here, all right? I'm no prude at all. But some things I don't need to see at 9 p.m. on whatever day the show comes out.
Well, not even that. If it was porn, I'm like, at least you have these porn actors that you would find and you would want to watch. No one needs to see small ad trying to masturbate.
Yeah.
Or Angela.
Yeah.
Or Azuelo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of the Angela, but yeah. Anyways, woo! We'll get into it all. But first, real quick, a little business. We're on Patreon. We're on Supercast. We're covering the other way over there. We're loving that season. If you guys want to hear our thoughts and a lot more, join us on the Patreon or Supercast, starting at the Cousins Club level for the audio only, and the Family Affair level for the audio, the video, and a monthly bonus. Check it out. Patreon.com/marriedtoreality or marriedtoreality.supercast.com.
Yes, guys. Check it out. It's fun.
I think so.
I think so too.
Also, we're on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. That's where you can call in and say, well, for once, John was right, Teresa. I'm sorry to say, and they're always going to apologize. Our friends always apologize. Sorry, Teresa. John was right.
Well, let's see. You guys can also call in on the Patreon.
Yeah, call on the Patreon direct line over there.
Yeah, we're chatting there.
Special number.
We're chatting there. We're chatting on Instagram. If you really think that John is right, just tell us. I'll be okay with it.
I'm gonna plug
I'll
it in.
make peace.
I'm going to plug it in. I just need to remind myself to plug it in.
I hope you forget.
All right, we'll see. Either I will prove that I'm right or our friends will. Please, friends, come through. Okay, so that's Instagram. Also, make sure you're just following along wherever you're listening right now. If it's on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you follow the podcast, and no matter what we drop, when we drop it, it'll come right to your device. It's so easy to do. Just look down, smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hard as this freaking explicit episode. Because doctor or therapist Reba, you brought it.
I was sweating. Very hot. All right, so smash like it's as hot as that. And last but not least, if you haven't left a review, please do. If you just want to write, John was right, 5 stars, that's fine. You can do that too. We won't tell you what to say, though. But if you do write something and leave 5 stars, we'll read it on the Monday podcast.
You can also write John was wrong, 5 stars.
Yeah, that would apply to most episodes. But for this one, it would be John is right, 5 stars. Sorry, Teresa. You could say that. All right.
I'll take it, if it's true.
That's the business. Let's do it. Let's get into it. I'm reluctant to talk about this episode. I don't know where it's going to go, but we got to do it. It's The Last Resort, Season 1, Episode 4. And let's start a little PG.
I was going to say, let's stretch. Let's stretch before the run.
Let's ease into this.
Yeah, so we see Jovi and Yara doing some yoga on the patio, the beach. It's like a beach patio, isn't it?
It was like a dock, I think.
That's what it's called, yeah.
Sure. Beautiful setting, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous setting.
I'm like, if we ever do a beach vacation, which we never, but if we do and we go to a resort, we will do a yoga on the beach.
I don't think we will, but...
Actually, we're going to a beach vacation in 2 months. We will do a yoga on the beach.
With the family?
There is a dog behind the house. You and I will get on the dog. I have the yoga app. We're going to whip it out. We're going to do a quick 10-minute yoga to prepare for the day with the parents.
I don't think we're going to do that, but you can try.
Really? You would not?
No.
What if it's like a boozy yoga?
Maybe.
Okay.
All right.
Look who's talking now.
Maybe. Okay. So speaking of booze, Jovi has finally calmed down a little bit. He's apologizing for that debacle he and Angela found themselves in.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm happy that they're on good terms again, but I don't know. And maybe Jovi's a bigger man than I am. I don't know that I'd be so quick to forget the words that were thrown around just a night before. Divorce, rehab. I don't think a little morning yoga would make me forget those so quickly.
Well, they chat after, and Yara basically says, well, we need to talk more. We need to talk about things. We need to talk about the babies, which is very true. Not just the babies, like all her other decisions she made by herself, right? And Jovi's like, well, so when can we have the second baby? And Yara says, well, I want Mila to be at least 4. Then let's discuss. And if I was Jovi, I would be like, okay, now we have a timeline. Thank you.
She didn't say Mila, but she did say my, which is something I've called out before. I still don't like it. It may be the language barrier, just like Boombox. But she said to the question, when are we going to have a second baby? She said, at minimum, when my child is 4 years old.
Yeah. Oh.
It's our child.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
It may be your decision. It's our child. And I know she's used that terminology before, and we can say it's the language, and I hope it's the language. But that's like one of the first things you learn, I feel like, is possession. My, our, I, you, we, us. You would never say that.
I wouldn't, because we have this relationship where we acknowledge each other, right? But I was going to say, I cannot recall my parents ever referring to me as our child. My mom would be like, oh, my child. My dad would be my child. They don't refer to
right,
them.
Because they're not talking to each other when they say they're talking to your teacher. They're talking to your friend's parent.
I guess.
If they're talking to each other, and then, okay, sometimes my parents do that. My dad will be like, my son, to my mom, my son is not, because he's trying to make a point that in this moment, like, my son is not going to watch 90 Day Fiancé. He'd be wrong. But that's, I think, when it's used. But when you're talking about, oh, when's our next child going to come? Well, when my child is 4 years old, it's like, it's both your child.
I'm not going to give her shit for this because I don't think she's aware of it. I don't think she says it on purpose in like a malicious way.
Okay.
I think it is the language barrier and she's just translating this in her head. Like, I don't think she means to take a jab at Jovi and be like, yeah, this is my kid. Like, I ran the show.
And I actually completely agree with you.
Okay.
And I don't believe it's coming from a place of malice, but words still matter. I'm a big proponent of intent. I think intent is so important, and the intent here may not to be possessive. Oh, this is my child. But the way she says it still could chip away and hurt his ego, even unintentionally. And that's why I think it's important that maybe she does become aware of it and does act more as a family as opposed to Yara, because a lot of the things she does is Yara-centric. I want to live in Europe. I'm going to buy this house. I'm going to have a child when my child is 4. Like, all right, let's maybe just be cautious or cognizant of what we're saying and how it may affect someone.
I agree.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So they basically discuss, yes, let's see, maybe when she's 4, then we can revisit this. And then Yara says, I love you, Jovi, but I'll be taking the birth control for now. And when I'm ready, we'll talk.
Which I think is fine.
Yeah, absolutely. You both need to be ready. If one of you isn't, I know it sucks and it might hurt your feelings or whatever, but you cannot have a kid when one of you isn't ready because it's not going to end up well.
Yeah, and I'm completely on Yara's side when she says, I'm going to take birth control until I'm ready. It's like, that's great. That is your choice. And I'm glad you told Jovi what your plan is.
The only shitty thing about this is that they should have had this exact conversation before she started taking the birth control.
100%. But as some say, better late than never.
Yeah, so they seem to be on good terms again.
Yes.
All right. Since they're on the good terms, let's all do some group, not group sex, but group sesh.
That maybe
sex sesh.
Oh, God. Group sex may be next week's homework. Let's see how the Dr. Petey might just throw her hands up and say, you know what? Just fuck each other.
She's DP, Dirty P, Dirty Petey.
She is. Okay, so all the couples arrive to like a dining hall at the resort.
Everyone but Angela and Michael because they're going to have their private long distance sesh.
And this, to me, outrageous, Teresa, that Angela and Michael can't participate in this, but they tried to have Angela participate in a relay race. Well, we know you guys are long distance, so we're going to do a private session. It's like Michael could have participated Michael could ask his dirty questions from an iPad.
True.
He cannot participate in a relay race, but you had Angela do that for some reason.
Yeah, that's a great point. I did not think of that.
I am glad. I don't know who I need to thank or who I need to write into to thank them because Big Ed and Angela together in this would have been too much.
You mean Small Ed?
Small Ed and Angela would have been too much for my stomach to handle, so I am glad they separated them, and maybe that is why they did. But the whole reason I'm like, well, Michael's long distance. Reva's entire presentation was on a TV.
Well, they have a little different issues to tackle being long distance. So, okay, everyone but Michael and Angela arrived to this dining hall.
Asuelu looking like Lady Liberty.
I think he made it out of a palm tree because he's like, this is like home.
I think he probably went to arts and crafts with his kids in the morning before the session, and that's what they all made.
I think Kalani just dropped him off at arts and crafts while she was playing with the kids.
True. Yeah, the camp.
Yeah. I can totally see Asuelu being there. So everyone arrives, and we meet a positive sex educator, Reba.
Before we meet Reba, I just want to call out that, for one, yes, Asuelu. Don't know what that is. 2, Ed and Liz can't even agree on where to sit.
Oh, I think she's just being so mad at him that she wouldn't agree on anything.
Yeah.
So when Ed is like, oh, let's sit here, she's like, no, I'm gonna sit here.
Yeah.
I don't think she cared. I just think she did not want to agree with him.
Yeah, not a good start. And then Molly rocking yet another horrendous pair of sunglasses. I am glad she sells bras and not eyewear.
That's a great
She
point.
may need a new pair of eyewear because whatever she's picking out looks atrocious.
I don't even know where you buy that. Like, I sometimes search for sunnies on Amazon because I keep losing sunglasses.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go over $15, right? And whenever I search, I usually find normal sunglasses. Like, here and there you see something wild, but I never see anything like her and Angela wear. So where do you even buy it, or what do you search? Crazy sunnies?
Those are the sunglasses you get one of two places. You either get them at Five Below.
I don't know what that is.
They're like dollar store sunglasses.
Okay.
Or they're $700. They're either 99 cents or they're $700.
I think they're 99 cents.
Yeah, those are not $80 sunglasses. Those are not $99. Those are $1 or $1,000.
That's a great point. Speaking of a dollar store, were you the one who showed me the photo of the alligator waiting outside of one?
Yeah. Yeah, like several days ago in Louisiana.
Classic.
Shout out to Jovi. Just a gator waiting to get some good deals. Sink his teeth into some good deals. Yeah, shout out to that.
They love shopping.
Yeah. All right. So this is the sex and intimacy session with Reba Corinne Thomas, a pleasure-positive sex educator.
Yes.
So her goal is to teach everyone how to please their partners so it can further intimacy and connection.
Yes, because being intimate emotionally and sexually goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
You can't really have one successful without the other.
I agree. Before we get into this, I just want to say Ed needs
such a moron.
He needs a new writer. All of his jokes are just falling flat. We're 4 episodes in, and every single joke is worse than the last. I have a question. Where do babies come from?
But he's like, there's the thing. Okay. Some people are naturally funny. You are welcome, everyone. And some people are...
And some people are naturally humble. Thank me later.
And some people are just morons like Ed. Who think they're funny, but they're not. Like, he is not funny. He's annoying. And the more he tries to be funny, the more annoying and small he gets. And it's really getting to me. And I guess it's because I haven't been exposed to him in a while. He's just, I'm telling you, just want to hit him with like a plastic bat on his head so he like goes down the ground.
Do you know, whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
Do you know the number one rule in comedy? I mean, I don't, but I'm guessing what the number one rule in comedy is.
You have to always have your minute.
No. It's very inside. If you guys don't watch Kill Tony,
Oh, okay.
it's very inside. No, I'll give you one more chance. The number one rule in comedy.
Don't try to be funny.
Okay, I mean, that's authenticity is important. Timing is everything. That, I would say, is the number one rule in comedy. Timing is everything. Ed just has very poor timing. Like, these jokes, you're here to learn, you're here to connect, you're here to grow, you're here to be serious for a second. And the minute you sit down, you're trying to crack jokes. Not the time or the place. And I think that's a big part of the reason they're falling flat.
And I think he does it because I believe he is constantly uncomfortable with himself because he's a moron.
Yeah.
And he knows it. And I think he exaggerates that personality to create this persona of him being an asshole, but masking it by all these stupid jokes.
It's completely a defense mechanism. And he admits to it, which I always find that makes it worse. If you're aware of the problem, well, do something. It's worse to be like, yeah, I know I'm an asshole, but it's because I'm uncomfortable. Okay, well, that doesn't make it right. Just because you know why you're doing it doesn't make it right to do.
Yeah, just be quiet. Sometimes silence is better than speaking up.
Silence is golden. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Reba passes around this bucket where they can write questions and comments anonymously that they're going to get to later. But first, she has a question for everyone. Raise your hand if you had sex ed in school. Yara did not.
I didn't either.
I guess it's a European thing.
Wait, we didn't have a sex ed, but they came to our class when I was in like 6th, 7th grade. They gave us condoms and bananas, so we did.
See, I never think I got that. I have this distinct memory, though, of walking into my parents' kitchen and seeing my dad and my sister putting a condom on a banana.
No.
I don't know if that's reality or
Rachel,
if that's...
call in.
Rachel, call in. I recall that.
I hope not.
But I don't... I had health class. I had, this is a penis. This is sperm, eggs. But I don't...
Health class. We learned it in biology.
Okay. But I don't know that I had quote unquote sex ed. But also, what would you teach? I guess it's more health and biology than it is like, here's how you find the G spot when you're in 6th grade.
No, it wasn't that. Ours was like one and done. They came, they showed us how to put a condom on. They gave us bananas that we also could snack on afterwards. And they gave us a lot of condoms. And you could see, you knew what day it was because there were freaking inflated condoms flying all over the school because that's all we did.
Yeah.
We blew them like balloons and we were just playing around with them.
How old were you? What grade?
6th or 7th.
Grade.
Yeah.
Okay, you were a teenager or...
I was like 12.
Yeah, that's probably seems young, but it seems young for then.
It was definitely before I had sex. So that's why everyone was like, oh my gosh, like, can we eat the bananas after?
It seems young for then. Unfortunately, it probably seems right for now. Like, I feel like we're sexualizing so much at a younger age because of Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff that I was so innocent when I was 12 years old.
Oh, me too.
But now you see these teenagers, you're like, are you in college? Like, how old are you?
All I was doing when I was 12, I was parading my dog in these mixed dogs dog shows, and I was just winning left and right.
Yeah. That was your doggy style.
That was my doggy style. My dog Ida was a winner. Okay. That was a mixed winner.
Yeah. Okay. So they go around. Asuelo, I loved because Asuelo was like, yeah, we have like maybe like a science class, but I didn't take that course.
Well, small ad being small ad, before we even start, he has another wannabe jokes. And he basically says, well, look at that cucumber. That would fit in Jovi's mouth. Look at that big mouth, right? Which is kind of like, you're sexualizing the cucumber as a penis, putting it in Jovi's mouth, which is kind of ridiculous.
I didn't even go there.
And Jovi is like rolling his eyes, like, yeah, give me the cucumber so I can hit you with it. And I was expecting Ed to freak out, but he didn't. And I feel like he missed the comment.
Jovi wants to play whack-a-mole in real life.
We all do. We all do.
Yeah. The thing that I wrote down was when Ed he's supposed to put his questions in the bucket. He did not. He just shouted out. So the lip of a circumcision, does that create stimulation for a woman? Apparently that's a good question. Because Reba was like, well, wow, okay. Very astute. Ed.
Well, for once, it sounded like a smart question to ask. Not like, where do babies come from? Or let's shove the cucumber into Jovi's mouth.
I guess in comparison to those.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good question. And Reba's like, let's show of hands. Any circumcised folks in the house? Hold them up real high so we can see.
And Jovi was like, guys, like, some of you saw Ed last night. Tell us what's going on over there. And he like laughs at it. I'm like, dude, you are at couples retreat trying to work on your relationship, and you're laughing at the fact that you were naked in a jacuzzi, showing your junk to Angela and co.
Yeah. But Kalani quickly diverts from that and goes, Asuelu has a good circumcision story. Tell your story, Asuelu.
Oh my gosh.
I was not prepared for this.
Well, the shocking part about this story that you can tell our friends, because I was just shocked.
Yeah, there was a good portion of this segment where Teresa just stopped typing and her mouth was just like slightly agape. And I was like, I'm not even, sometimes I'd be like, Teresa, are you watching? Like, cause I want to make sure she's capturing everything. I was like, I'm just going to let her be. I know it. She's processing. I'm just going to let her be.
Well, this was one of it, because I was processing what he was saying, but then he ended it with, oh, and I was 15.
All right. Well,
holy shit. Tell our friends.
Spoiler alert.
Tell our friends.
You know how I said the number one rule of comedy is timing? The number 2 is don't put the punchline before the setup.
Well, I don't think this is a ha-ha joke. I think this is like, holy shit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to make it real quick because it's uncomfortable to talk about. But apparently in Samoa, I don't even know if it's as broad as Samoa, but in Asuelu's family, after you're circumcised, you go to the ocean, you sit down in the salt water, and you allow the fish to come up and nibble on your penis?
What type of a fish?
I don't know, but it reminds me of, sometimes I feel like there are those pedicures where the fish come and eat the dead skin. So that's what I envision here. But so we're all going, oh, wow, okay. Maybe this is in conjunction with a baptism where you're in the water and the fish are snacking on your penis. No, because Kalani is like, tell them how old you are. Tell them how old. 15.
That's like, at 15, you can start banging.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have sex with humans, not fish.
It's out of control. They should have just saved it like it and let it dry like in Meet the Parents. No, Meet the Fuckers.
Say what?
Didn't he save the
Yeah,
skin?
yeah.
And then it kind of like
They put it in the
somewhere in the air.
Yeah.
Meet the Fuckers.
Yeah.
Great movie.
So Reba's like, I think we're just gonna go to the bucket. I think we're gonna go to the bucket now, and pulls out the first question. How do I make my dick big? I think we know who wrote that one down. How do I make myself last? Asuelo goes, oh, that's me. That one was me. And you can see Reba just like, oh, this is worse than I thought it was going to be. And she starts to get real therapist-y on these not therapy questions.
Well, with all seriousness, it's not funny. The topic of sex education is not funny. What they're talking about is not funny. They should get down to business and figure this out for their own sake, because all these people have issues, right? The fact that a room full of grown-ups starting from late 20s to freaking late 50s cannot hold the laugh and they just laugh at everything, asking dumb questions, that's kind of ridiculous. And I'm not saying let's not laugh at all. There are situations like Asuelo's circumcision story. Sure, I would probably laugh too. But it's not funny. And them making these stupid jokes or Asuelo, it's like, take it seriously because you all can learn something.
Sure. What I learned is not all people with vaginas want a big dick.
That's very true.
That's what Reba said.
Very true.
Yeah, I just love how this is where she got real therapist-y. And was like, well, there's like a secondary emotion. There's a secondary emotion behind wanting a big dick. I would ask myself, why do I want a big dick? And just the way she was saying it, I was like, this is wild.
A friend of mine that you actually know once broke up with a guy because his penis was too big.
I know. I think I know that friend.
I don't think I've ever told you this story.
I think you did. Is it a friend that lived in New York?
That's a different one. It's a friend that lived in the U.S. and then worked for the Emirates.
Oh.
Yeah, she lived in D.C.
Oh, wow.
She was an au pair too. And she dated this guy. She was like, I can't take that huge penis. She's like, it literally hurts. We can't have sex. And all he wants to do is to have sex. She's like, I can't take it.
Yeah,
and she broke up with him.
I get it. And Reba gets to it a little bit here because they start talking about prostate stimulation.
Oh, that's a whole other thing I'm going to try.
No, you're not. But because the question was, well, how can you still be aroused? How can I keep my partner aroused when they need to take multiple breaks? And Reba's like, okay, well, prostate stimulation. And she's like, let's actually go to the diagram. And she like fires up her TV. And she's like, when you get an exam, the doctor puts on a lubricated glove and inserts a finger into the anus. And some people get aroused. And there's two ways to help your partner have a orgasm, and one of them is through the prostate, and apparently there's a faster recovery.
I didn't know that. Did you?
I didn't know it in such great detail. But
I mean, should I bring the chicken gloves we have?
Please don't. Please don't.
Guys, we call the surgical gloves the chicken gloves because I use them to prepare chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Just an FYI.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this was where the conversation where the men could start to understand that, oh, maybe a large member is not always welcome into the party because like, yeah, I don't know if I would want that. But okay, apparently prostate stimulation you can recover faster from. So that's what Reba was saying, and maybe that could help you get back in the game a little bit quicker. And then I was like, all right, well, sometimes my penis is sore after sex. And Reba goes, well, if you're sore, you should use a lubricant.
Oh.
And Asuelo was basically like, well, can I just like huck a loogie on my penis and then get back in the game? And Reba's like, lubricant. Asuelo, say it after me. Lubricant.
Well, it's because of the pH in the vagina.
Yeah.
And then Molly made a comment that was like, ew. She's like, yeah, if you do that vagina's gonna smell. I'm like, ew. How do you know that?
See, I tuned that part out.
Yeah, this whole thing was kind of like, I'm not a prude either, but talking about all these people's vaginas and penises is kind of like, ooh.
Here's the thing. I'm not a prude. I don't think I am. But I'm not a prude when it comes to my sex life, our sex life.
I mean, you don't want me to bring the chicken glove.
Nope. But I just don't need to hear about everyone's sex life. That's where I'm just like, you know what? That's your private life and we can keep it private.
So let me ask you this. Do you talk to your guy friends about sex?
No.
Never.
I mean, I'm probably in high school or college, but
On high school, look at you, slut.
not mine. Not my personal experience. But I think you get old. I think you probably talk about it. This is probably reflecting back. Probably talk about it more when you don't care about the person. Once you like find your partner and you're like, oh, this is personal, this is intimate, this is between you and I, you probably don't talk about it because that's you. I feel like when it's just some hoe, Teresa,
Ooh.
and some hoe, you talk about it.
All right.
You know? Why do you guys? I mean, I feel like girls talk about it.
Not now. I'm too old for it.
See what I'm saying?
But when I was in high school, I guess.
High
we
school.
did. Not about my experience.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, we definitely talked about it when I was younger. But yeah, I've never had an adult relationship until I met you. And when I did meet you, I was 25. And at that point, you're right. Like I didn't have the need to brag or talk about it with my friends because I talked about
you.
Well, of course, but
talking about sex is like gossip. I'm not going to gossip about someone who I have real strong feelings for.
Exactly.
That's personal. That's private, I think.
I agree. Look at us agreeing.
Okay. So then Reba says, if you're willing, I'd like to go around. Now that we know who's circumcised and who's not, I'd like to go around and rate your sex with your partner 1 to 10 and tell me why.
So Asuelu, he's like 10.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think that's... Go ahead.
I don't buy it because if he was 10, he wouldn't get a BJ on a vacation.
I don't necessarily buy it either. I also think that's the only answer he feels like he can give because he needs to make Kalani feel as good as she can.
Yes, but for Kalani, she doesn't want to answer. She's like, I'm going to opt out.
Yes. Then we get to Kelly and Molly, and Kelly's just like, well, right now we're not having sex. Molly says last time it was an 8. Solid score.
Not bad. And it was an 8 for Kelly, too.
Solid score. Yeah, apparently it was pretty wild.
And Kelly says, I still find her attractive. For Molly, she isn't sure. And I think attraction for her is more than the looks, which...
Yeah.
I feel her. That's literally me. And once you lose some of it, it's hard. You can be hot, but it's not going to do it.
No, hot, physical... all of that, the visual is what initially attracts you to a person.
Yeah.
Of course, because you don't know the person. But then once you get to know the person, you could either be unattracted to them because of their personality or other things you find out about them, or you could become more attracted because of those things underneath the surface. And so, yeah, Molly was a little turned on by Kelly's position of power and that man in uniform. But that's in the past, and so the attraction's a bit in the past.
Yeah. And then we get to Ed and Liz. Small Ed is like, it's probably like 5.
Well, we started at an 11, which, again, this is not authentic. This is like, I have to put on a show.
Yeah.
I have to put on this bravado. Oh, it's an 11. But over time, it's now probably a 5. And Liz says, well, yeah, it was really great, but I'm not someone to stop and give you 5 to 10 minutes to catch your breath. What?
Yeah.
I
can see that.
Ed doesn't have the cardio to bang?
Of course not. Look at him.
I don't know. He then go to a fitness class, not a sex ed class.
Well, we see the previews, and he said he had a surgery, and he's a couple weeks ago, and Liz is like, no, that was a couple months ago. Like, you're good now. Like, you just have excuses.
Oh, I didn't think that was a preview. That was this episode.
Oh, really?
I think that was this
Interesting.
episode.
I thought it was the previews.
I think it was this episode.
But, yeah, I can see him not being in shape. And, well, he is also significantly older than she is.
True.
So she has a little different libido. than he does.
True. Then we get to Jovi and Yara. Yara says 8. I thought Jovi was going to be like, 10.
Why?
9 or 10. Because he's always wanting to bang.
Well, but that's the issue. He says 6 because they don't bang enough.
True.
And Yara always wants something else before sex. Like she wants to connect. She wants some romantic gesture.
Yeah. Reba's like, okay, well, there are these such things as spontaneous desires, but maybe your partner's not having a spontaneous desire the same way you are. So instead of knock, knock, maybe it's more of a massage, Yara, to get her in the mood. So, all right, that's a little bit of homework. And then Reba gives out more homework. To Ed and Liz, share your blueprints for pleasure and see what arousal feels like without penetration. Okay. Asuelu and Kalani, find out what your pleasure is and do it separately. Touch yourself. And don't just choke your chicken like you always do, Asuelu. Explore it like it's a new alien thing.
How do you take these notes?
Me?
We only watched it once.
I don't know. This stuck with me. Yara and Jovi, cuddle. No sex for you. Just cuddle. And Molly and Kelly, talk about what turns you on. Say, I turn myself on when, and fill in the blank. And I turn myself off when, and fill in the blank.
Look at you just reciting the show.
That's the homework, Teresa, okay?
Okay. Well, are we going to take a break?
I think it's a good time to take.
Right.
I think I need to. I'm a little flushed over here. I'm sweating. So I think we should take a quick break. We'll tell you about our sponsors for this episode, okay? And when we come back, we'll do a private session, okay? We'll do a private session. All right, we'll be back in a second. Guys, if there's one thing we love more than talking about reality TV, it's a good vacation.
Sometimes you just need to escape the drama. Am I right?
You're not wrong. And there's no better place to escape to than Spectrum Resorts, rated a top 10 family beach resort with 2 amazing full-service beachfront properties.
Turquoise Place and the Beach Club Resort and Spa in Gulf Shores, Alabama.
There she is.
Guys, we recently got back from Turquoise Place, and let me tell you, this was next level vacationing.
Shout out to that complimentary breakfast, our beautiful balcony overlooking the white sand beaches, and that gorgeous water.
Plus, the on-site dining, shopping, spa services, resort-style pools, and more. Can we please go back?
I'm counting down the days, Teresa. And if you guys want an amazing getaway, right now we can save you $200 off your next reservation by using promo code POD1.
That's right. Just make sure you book directly through Spectrum Resorts and use promo code POD1 to save $200. As always, I'll have John put links in the show notes.
Thank you to Spectrum Resorts for this incredible getaway and for sponsoring this podcast. Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Smart for Life.
Between podcasting, traveling, and everyday life, John and I are always on the go, which makes it hard to plan and cook healthy meals every day. But thanks to Smart for Life, we never miss out on great tasting, balanced nutrition.
That's absolutely right. Smart for Life is a doctor-designed health and wellness company that specializes in delicious and nutritionally balanced snacks with a focus on weight management and overall well-being.
They have so many amazing choices from cookies to kits. But my favorite is their gourmet protein bars.
Tell them your favorite flavor, Teresa.
It's s'mores.
True. Smart for Life does have s'more protein bars. They also have lemon protein bars, cinnamon pecan protein bars, and more. You can even choose a variety box.
And they don't just taste great. They are made with high-quality ingredients, too.
So whether we're traveling or recording back-to-back podcasts, Smart for Life has become our go-to meal replacement.
And if you are watching your portions like me, each bar is individually wrapped.
Now here's the best part. Right now we can save you 20% on your next order by using promo code MREAL20 at smartforlife.com.
That's right. Just use promo code MREAL20, which is MREAL20 SMAREAL20 at smartforlife.com for 20% off.
Thank you to Smart for Life for sponsoring this podcast. And Teresa, hand over that Smurf. And we're back.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Teresa.
Are you ready to do some long distance sex sesh?
No, I'm not.
Well, we are.
Do I have to?
We have to.
Petey didn't have to stay. Petey was like, here, Angela, this is Reba. Reba, this is Angela. I'm out.
For a good reason, because we are going to talk about how to pleasure ourselves long distance with Angela, Michael, and Reba.
Yeah. So Reba's talking. Michael's on the iPad. Reba wants to know, how often do you guys see each other?
Michael's on the iPad and on the TV.
Oh.
Two Michaels.
Multi-screen. Mm-hmm. All right. Double the pleasure, double the fun. So, okay. How often do you guys see each other? And Angela says, well, last year I went 3 times. We had sex every day. Sex every day. And Reba says, if you could simulate that, would you? And Angela would. I think we know that. I think we saw in a previous scene. It's like, pop that penis for me, Michael. It's very, very uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad they didn't flash back to that. But Angela would. Michael doesn't like to self-pleasure, he says.
Yeah, he doesn't fancy it.
He doesn't fancy masturbating. I mean, there is fancy masturbating. I would just say, just do it old fashioned. Don't get fancy with it. Do it old fashioned.
Okay.
This is what they're going to introduce to this relationship is going to be fancy masturbating. But
ooh, and it's fun. It's exciting.
Keep it old school. But it's against his culture. It's against his religion. So he doesn't really like to do it.
Well, Reba is going to whip out this Bluetooth vibrator that can be long distance. So all you need is for Angela to shove it up her vagina. And Michael downloads the app and operates it long distance.
Yeah. So it's not really masturbating because it's 2 people, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the loophole.
It's like a sex stimulation.
Yeah. It's like a little loophole for Michael. And so yes, the Bluetooth vibrator.
Yeah. And they make it for men too. It's probably like a sock that he puts on, and Angela can take care of the vibrations.
Yeah, I would not trust Angela. But Angela's loving this. She's like, this is amazing. This is my long distance penis. Angela's loving every minute of it. I was having flashbacks. Now, this is going to be the second time I mention my dad and sex on this podcast. I was having flashbacks of having to help my parents set up like the TV. You have to, John, come here. How do we set up this Wi-Fi router? Like, you got to help them set up the router. So I was just watching Angela, who's getting up there in age, right?
Okay.
Or at least she looks like she is. And I'm just like, this is just one other thing I'd have to teach my parents how to connect. Well, John, how do I set up this Bluetooth vibrator? Come here. I can't figure it out. Your mom is saying it's not working.
Well, Reba helped. Michael's connected. And Angela's like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
Michael, it was like a video game for Michael. He was having the time of his life. If nothing else, it made them laugh. They were having fun in this session. It was good for them.
And they both say, this is great. Like, thank you, Reba. It brought us back to the humble beginnings when we just had fun.
Thank you, Reba. Now get the hell out of this room.
And she sure does.
So then we get Kalani and Asuelo in their room with the kids.
Yeah, this was a little...
Please say it.
Cringy.
Right. Call in if you guys are like, no, it's perfectly fine. But they were talking about the class, talking about masturbating, talking about sex, while they were like combing their kids' hair before bed.
I mean, they didn't really say anything. They were saying, oh, kids, we got to do this homework, right? And when Asuelo wanted to say sex, he spelled it out. That's fine.
He was acting like they were talking about dinner in front of their dog. They're like, oh, is it time for dinner? Like, they don't want the dog. It's like, no, it's wrong. You know it's wrong. That's why you're spelling out sex. Just put the kids to bed and then go do what you got to do.
For sure. It wasn't horrible. It was fine because they used code words and kids were like, oh, I hate homework and Kalani's like, yeah, I'm gonna like this one.
I'm gonna ace this.
It was much better than what comes next, which is as well not knowing about the Nest camera.
Oh, we'll get to that. Before then, we see Liz and Small Ed hanging out in their room. And Ed's like, I got a lot out of this class. And Liz said, I was rolling my eyes the whole time. You couldn't be serious. You made everything a joke. And Ed goes, I'm just looking for a laugh. The minute it gets serious or nervous, I go funny. This is where I go, you know what you're doing. You know it's wrong. Try not to do it.
He doesn't go funny. He goes idiot.
That's what he thinks is funny, though. He's got a different sense of humor than you and I. But he knows it's inappropriate. So that's the first step in preventing it from happening again.
Yeah. And then they started talking about what if something happened to them, right? How would they feel? And you can see how selfish Small Ed is because in his example, he's like, if something happened to you, and he pauses and he's like, or me.
Yeah.
Like, he can't even put himself in that situation. He puts her.
Yeah, I don't see anything necessarily wrong with that. I think that's almost he's trying to prove how much he loves her.
No. She goes like, if something happened to me tomorrow, I would feel bad that I never got to express certain things and I never get to show you that I have your back.
Yeah.
And he follows it with, well, if something happened to you tomorrow, and he pauses, or me. Huh. You know what I'm saying? Like, she puts it on her and he puts it on her.
Got it. Well, I was looking at it from the perspective of, I couldn't go on without you. Like, if I lost you, my world would not be the same. So if something happened to you, I'd be devastated. That's how I perceive it when someone says something like that. I guess maybe, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe he is being selfish in the way
he's always being selfish. That's the problem.
He is, but he says he's going to work on himself. I'm going to work on being serious. I'm not going to always try to joke.
I want to see that.
I do too.
Yeah, but Liz kind of turns it around and says, I need to have your back more. I feel bad. And she starts crying. Yeah,
she got very emotional.
Yeah, and I was like, Liz, dude, just pack and go. Pack and go. California. Forget about Arkansas. Just pack and go.
Yeah, she's got Stockholm Syndrome. She can't get away from her captor. This is all she knows. Also,
it's not. I don't know if she was married before, but she had a serious partner. She has a kid.
Yeah, I don't mean it like that. But this is a new life for her. She was a waitress at a restaurant in San Diego. And in walks Small Ed and changes her life forever. For better or for worse, she's swept up into this Hollywood glitz and glam, TV lifestyle, celebrity, influencer, followers. This is new for her. And maybe she doesn't love Ed as much as she loves this newfound fame. And she doesn't want to give that up. So she's putting up with this, for lack of a better term, abuse because of everything it comes with.
I don't agree because you don't see her being super active on social media or anything.
I don't know if we follow her.
I don't know.
I don't think we do.
But you don't see a lot of news about her. I don't know. She's just not there. And she could be. She could be going live and do all kinds of things and people would be talking about her, but I don't hear it.
I know she did. A year or two ago, back when all that shit was coming out, she went live, yes. She went on blog, she did IGs.
And she got everyone's support. And then people kind of started judging her when she kept going back to Ed. And even now, after he asked her for the ring back and then flew to San Diego or Boston, wherever, after the last tell-all, left her in New York, she still came back to him.
Yeah. We only see what we see. Maybe there's love there. Maybe there's something deep down. I don't know.
There is something. I don't think it's love, but there is something.
There's something. Ed says he's going to work on himself. He's going to work on the relationship. He's going to try to be more serious. Let's see. Then we get to Jovi and Yara's room, rocking those hotel robes.
They're just trying to cuddle.
Yara was not trying to cuddle. Yara did not want to do more than cuddle, but she wanted to tease. Right? She was cheating on the homework. She had a face full of makeup, trying to be like, oh yeah, just try to cuddle me, Jovi. Why don't you just try to cuddle? And Jovi was like trying to kiss and make out, and she's like, no. It's like, that's not cool either. Like, do the assignment properly.
Yeah, they're having fun with it, so it's fun. Then we get a very, very luckily brief moment of Angela having that vibrator in her vagina and Michael's going at it.
Michael, got lump in my coochie. And this is where I say, if this was real, this is borderline pornographic.
It is real.
If she had a vibrator in her
Of
coochie.
course she does.
If she had a vibrator in her coochie and Michael was just revving that thing to 100, this is porn.
She did.
People would pay for that.
I promise you.
This is OnlyFans.
She did. It's Angela. She definitely did.
I think this was the main reason for that warning screen, that parental advisory at the top of the show, because this is next level. This is different than like, okay, I'm going to walk in the bathroom and shut the door.
Well, I think it was that. And then as well, humping the wall and the bed.
Okay. We can't just brush over that, Teresa.
I'm not. I just introduced it.
We see Asuelu in his room alone, Nest Cam, and he's doing his homework. He's also doing the wall, and he's doing his bed. And it's comical at first, but as a guy, and maybe you can speak from a woman's perspective, I'm finding cause for concern because this is what children do. Like, it's a subconscious thing you do as a boy where you
hump the bed?
You start humping things because it feels
Really?
It feels good.
I thought it was dogs.
We're all animals, Teresa.
All right.
But you do it, it feels good. You don't even know it's a sexual thing. You're young and you're just doing it. He's still doing it at however old he is. This is how he gets off. He rubs himself against a wall or a bed. And did you see they blurred out his crotch?
Yeah.
Like he was erect. He was coming through.
Well, here's what I think he didn't know.
Good thing there wasn't a fish tank in that room.
Why?
It was a callback, Teresa. It was a callback to the circumcision.
Well, I don't think he is aware of the Nest Cam. I truly don't think he is.
That's unreal. If he's not, because I'm sure they had to have signed, there's going to be cameras, cameras in your room.
Because,
He probably didn't read it. He's like, signing it. That's ridiculous. This footage was insane.
Yeah, and that's why you could tell when Small Ed and Liz were about to do the homework, you can see him looking into the Nest camera and they're kind of like they're very much aware of it. Right? And then when it comes to stuff like this, I don't think Yara was thinking about it when she was fighting with Jovi because it's, but I don't think Aswell is aware of it.
No, he was in his own world.
Oh, yeah.
That was out of control.
Out of control.
That was out of control. Okay. And then finally a new day. This was a day when you wake up. I had to go to sleep. I needed to go to sleep after. This was a long day.
I don't think it was a new day. I think it was the same night.
No, it was light out and then it got dark.
Really?
Maybe it was the same.
I think everyone went to talk about the homework and Kelly and Molly went to have a private session with Dr. Jason because they're just not doing well.
I feel like I needed it to be a new day. I needed to be cleansed from all the sex.
No, I don't think it was a new day. I'm so sorry.
Well, whatever it was, it's Kelly and Molly and Dr. Jason having a private session, and he brings up the sex class.
Yeah, and I think that's why, because they just cannot, with their current state of the relationship, they cannot just sit down and have a conversation about what turns you on, right? Mm-hmm. They needed help. And here comes Dr. Jason, and he kind of brings up, well, Molly, what attracts you to Kelly? And she's like, well, I was attracted to him before because he was a cop. Yeah. He had a mission. He had he had things to do.
He had a uniform.
And now
handcuffs.
She's like, well, and I ask him, well, what are you up to? He's like, absolutely nothing. And she said that's not a turn on.
Yeah, well, Kelly's like, she's not telling the whole truth. I changed my world for her. This is my life now, and we're not even communicating. And so Dr. Jason says, Molly, can you validate him? Give Kelly something to work on. Give something for him to work with. And she says, he has no respect for me as a mother or as a business owner. I've begged for him to come and be with me, and he's denied it. And he's stuck in cop mode, which that confuses me because I thought you liked the cop mindset, the cop mentality, that attitude. But now you're using it against him. You're saying he hasn't had time to come out of cop mode. And that's part of the reason why you're having trouble connecting with him.
Well, I think that issue, and she's kind of going to brush over it or touch on it, is the fact that whole issue that happened with her daughter, Olivia. She kind of mentions it. Well, and I think even her saying, you don't really respect me as a mother, like that all has to do something with what happened with Olivia.
I completely agree. They're dancing around something here for sure. Kelly was like, oh, I don't want to be with a person like her. I don't feel safe or secure with her. She did me wrong. So like Kelly starts saying all this stuff that Molly did. And Molly's like, well, I get it, but he never tried to understand what happened or the role he played in this scenario. And I'm going, okay, maybe you're not allowed to show it on TV or talk about it on TV. But if this is all Dr. Jason's getting, he's not going to be able to provide help because you're not being transparent. You're not saying what the root issue is here.
Well, this was just part one. They will continue.
But they're having a conversation here. And we're all kind of going, oh, this must be the Olivia thing. This must be the Kelly-Olivia thing. But they're already deep in a debate and conversation about something that's gone sideways. They're not being clear about it here. Maybe they edited it out for TV. Maybe there's ongoing legal things they have to solve before they can address publicly. But it was very veiled. We're just speculating that they're talking about Olivia. But I don't know. And Molly starts going off saying, oh, Kelly can't take care of me emotionally, can't take care of me financially, sexually. And that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back here.
Yeah, and Kelly's like crying. He's very emotional.
A lot of emotions this entire series.
Like the only person who really isn't taking this seriously is Small Ed.
Yeah, I would say so. But I almost think, and not to defend Smollett at all, I think he is taking it as seriously as he can because he's admitting, oh, I joke. I get goofy when I get uncomfortable. So the fact that he's uncomfortable means like, oh, he is taking it seriously. He just can't allow himself to actually accept or grow or use any of the techniques that he's learning because that's a whole other step for him. But I think he's there and present in his natural reaction to when things get tough and he gets uncomfortable is to make jokes and not be serious.
He just got very cocky with his little fame.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he should carry her on a pedestal because he scored a 30-year-old good-looking lady. She's a little banged up now. Because of him, when she's in the relationship. Like when we see her for the first time, she's like a super happy girl, right? She looks happy, she looks healthy. Now she looks like she needs to take a vacation from Ed.
Yeah.
But still. And he acts like, oh, no, she should be happy. I am with her.
Yeah. But Kelly and Molly, Kelly has enough. Those words were enough to hurt him. He's crying. He stands up and he leaves and he says, I can't deal with a liar. I'm done. And he walks away.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think it is part one.
He'll come back.
We saw him previous. He comes back. I need clarity.
Yeah.
This seems like a real issue. Like, I love that this show is addressing real issues. I think we're so jaded watching a lot of the 90-day shows or just reality TV in general going, this is all manufactured. Oh, Andre and Libby don't have real problems. Oh, this is all make-believe. This is just another storyline being written so that we follow along for another season. This is real shit.
Yeah. I think so.
Jovi and Yara, this is real shit. Liz and Ed, real shit.
Oh, yeah.
Molly and Kelly, real shit. Kalani and Asuelu,
Real
shit. Angela and Michael, meh. Maybe.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah.
But like there are so many people who love this show, which I'm surprised by. Because I thought a lot of people don't love seeing the same people over and over again.
True, but this is different. It's
So
not,
different.
It's not, okay, so we're going to Nigeria again. She's going to yell at Michael again. She's going
Right.
to make it pissed about the goofballs again. Like, this is very different.
It's very different. It's unearthing new problems in new ways with just same people. But everyone is loving it.
Loving it.
We are part of that crowd.
Loving it. Loved watching it. Loved talking about it. Love taking notes. Sometimes I can't.
Yeah.
Because it's just so jaw-dropping that I'm just focusing.
Yeah.
I have you to take very, very diligent notes.
I take detailed notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's episode 4. It's going strong. No
Think
sign
about
of
it.
letting up.
Episode 4. Often so. We get introductions on episode 4.
And that's the other. Well, okay.
This is out of control.
Everyone hates Happily Ever After. I don't know why.
I like it.
I love it. And I love it primarily because we know these people. We know their backstories. We don't have to spend 3 episodes before we get to the country and we see them together. We just start right in the thick of it. That's what we're getting here from episode 1. It's like we know these characters.
Mm-hmm.
We know a lot of their issues already. We're going to learn new problems, but let's just dig in. Episode 4, we're dug in. I don't know. I haven't had a whisper of when it's going to end or how many episodes to expect, but I hope we're just getting started.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I hope. So, okay. That's it for episode 4. What an episode. Woo!
Wild.
Pour yourself another glass of wine, guys.
Oh, I will. Oh. Guys.
Talking to our friends. Pour yourself another glass of wine, and this was an episode.
What an app.
This was an episode. So thank you guys for listening. If you guys want even more, we're covering more shows. If you can believe it, we're doing even more over on Patreon and Supercast. We're talking about The Other Way.
Yes.
Okay, that's quite the season.
What a show.
Whew. Holly and Wayne, Brandon and Mary, the other ones.
I'm like trying to think who's on the show because I hate to say it, I love both of the 90s, but before the 90 Day and 90 Day the Other Way, when all the Americans are abroad, I don't know who's where. I'll just be honest.
The Other Way has so many couples. It's down to an hour.
Yeah.
They're adding more couples. Shekinah.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
They're adding more couples. We haven't seen TJ and Kimberly in 9 weeks. It's like,
I know.
you guys had enough to begin with, but they keep adding more. It's a wild season. We're talking about it over on Supercast and Patreon. So join us there, patreon.com/marriedtoreality or marriedtoreality.supercast.com. That is starting at the Cousins Club. And then we're, of course, covering on the Family Affair with a video component and a monthly bonus. So check it out. Also on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. Call in over there, message us, share your thoughts. We want to hear it all. We love talking to you guys. We also share memes and news updates. It's all over there on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod.
Yes.
Also, make sure you're following us wherever you're listening to us right now, whether it's Apple, Spotify, TuneIn. Doesn't matter. What matters is you follow us, so as soon as we drop an episode, it gets right to your device. You don't have to think about it. Downloads right away. You can listen to us immediately. It's so easy to follow us. Just look down, smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's hot. Yes, once again, this freaking episode because it was indeed hot.
I love the because. I love how you feel like you have to defend your smash it. You can't just be like, smash like it's as hot as this episode. So it's like, smash like it's as hot as this episode. Because we talked about sex.
That's my thing.
We saw a beautiful sunset. They were drinking. Yeah. Okay. Smash like it's as hot as this episode. And last but not least, if you haven't left a review, please, we ask you every episode, but we do it because it's that important.
It is.
We love.
Love.
A review helps us get out there. It helps spread the word. We want to grow this family. We want to grow this party. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to leave a review. If you leave a 5-star review and you write something, we'll read it on the Monday pod, which is the B90 pod. So please write something, leave a review.
Yes, please.
All right.
Please.
All right. I've said it all now.
I did too.
You've definitely said it all, Teresa. So with that, we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.